Hey, Frank, LeBron mentioned in the walk-off that you guys have won, I think, 5 of the last 8 third quarters, but just wondered what you saw tonight in this specific third quarter.
What we saw, I just thought the third quarter was our best defensive quarter. We have won 5 out of 8 third quarters coming in tonight, so now I guess 6 out of 9. Obviously it was a trouble area for us. Obviously that Minnesota game was the biggest one, and we knew we had to do better there, so we made the adjustment and have improved there. But I challenge these guys to, really compete to be a great defensive team. That's why our lives are hard right now. We're not fully committed and bought into all the details and effort pieces on that side of the ball, and that's all we talked about the last 48 hours. And obviously the third quarter was our best defensive quarter.
What did you see from just Detroit coming back and shrinking the lead down in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, every time you get a lead, the other team's coach is going to try to change the game. They obviously switched to zone, and they played with basically a 9-second mindset. They race it down, shoot threes every time down, and we did not do a good enough job defending the three-point line. That's an area that we have to improve on. When we have a lead, we got to take the three ball out. And there's way too many breakdowns or short closeouts or playing sort of first quarter defense. When they're looking to bomb threes. You have to adjust, and we didn't do well enough tonight, but opportunity to learn and to win.
Frank, you guys outscored them 58-40 in the paint. How much of that do you think was because of the rim pressure that both Russ and AD were bringing? And what earlier in the year you said spacing was part of the reason why things didn't flow as well on offensive end. Is the spacing getting better? Is that opening up things for Russ at all in the half court?
Yeah, it's definitely improving. We're still starting with a big lineup in certain games, but in some ways that does give you more space on the perimeter. There's not 5 out. There's a big on the baseline. But it creates problems when AD or Bron have the ball and Russ got a cut and there's already a big in there. But they play small with a second unit. I feel like this is part of our evolution as a team and learning what our identity is going to look like. We played a different second unit tonight. And we played the second unit that basically closed the game out in Indiana with Bron Bron and Melo at the 4-5. I call it a centerless lineup. And, there is a lot more space for Russ. Bron has a lot more space to be a roller going to the basket, which was effective. And, we just have more switchability on the defensive side of the ball. So, I do think that's something that we're gonna grow and will be a part of our team going forward.
Back to the starting lineup. Obviously, you guys go big again tonight. Obviously on paper that challenges your spacing. What is sort of the calculus for you when you decide, okay, tonight's a night where we're going to go big and we're going to start DJ, and then that run in the third quarter where you guys go 16-0 with mostly that group, is that sort of the upside that you see with that group?
Yeah, well, the defensive length, is the big positive. When Anthony's able to, to scramble around a three-point line with another big behind him protecting the basket. There's a lot of positives defensively, for that type of group. But obviously, you're compromised with your offensive spacing. It's something we'll continue to evaluate as the season goes along. And I will say that Dwight didn't play tonight. We made a decision that if we're going to look at this smaller second unit, that one of our centers will play, not both. It's not always going to be DJ. Sometimes it'll be Dwight. You could see Dwight in the starting lineup. With DJ, being the third center or whatnot. We'll just continue to evaluate that going forward.
Frank, you saw moments tonight where all 3 of the main guys, LeBron, AD, and Russ, exhibited moments of leadership. Are you guys at your best when all 3 of those guys are actively trying to take on that role? And what does that look like behind the scenes and sort of developing those guys' leadership and all 3 of them sharing that role? Yeah, well, they have a healthy level of respect for each other, obviously, and they're all vocal leaders. They all communicate, and they talk to each other in a healthy way. You know what I mean? And that's an important thing with chemistry. If you got guys barking at each other and
not willing to listen. The willingness of these guys to listen to each other is really strong, and that's why we feel good about what we're going to be. Obviously not happy with our record right now, but about where we're going to go with this team. There's a strong bond with those guys.
Frank, 2 quick questions. What did you see different from Talon kind of as the game went on? It seemed like he was a little more engaged offensively, able to kind of get to his spots. And then secondly, obviously I'm sure you would have liked the game to have finished differently down the stretch. But before the game, when you talked about having the talent to rip off, a bunch of wins, is it stretches like that third quarter? Is it stretches like defensively earlier in the game? Is that the stuff that you're seeing that tells you that this could maybe be around the corner?
Well, I know for sure that we can be better than we've been on the defensive side of the ball. When we commit and put our minds to it, and we build the habits of Laker basketball. Like the rim collisions, haven't been there consistently for us. They were great tonight. We took charges. We had verts at the rim. There was a mindset to put a body in front of anything that comes to the basket. And that's been a foundation point for us the last couple of years with a new group. You hope it takes shape right away. It hasn't. Some things take a little bit of time, but we're coaching our fundamentals. We're challenging our guys on a regular basis, and I believe we can be great on the defensive side of the ball. And if we do with the offensive talent that we have, okay, we can beat anybody. So there is a strong belief that we can reel off a bunch of wins in a row. There is a strong belief, that we're going to have a great season with this group.
Last question, Claudia. Frank, LeBron and Russell Westbrook both had 9 assists. How good is it to have 2 playmakers like that on the floor?
It's excellent for us. Those guys are both willing passers and great setup guys. But I like how our whole team is playing. It's two games in a row where they've reached my challenge that I put on them to really become a team-first team in terms of sharing the basketball and getting 30 assists. Last game we had 32, and tonight we had 30. We just got ours in 48 minutes tonight instead of 63 the other night. But it's still 30 assists 2 games in a row, and that's what we want from our guys is to share that rock.